Okay, going to give an update on the greenhouse. It's December 3rd. Um, if you remember, all of these tomato plants were trimmed back to pretty much bare canes at the end of the summer. Just kept watering it, up the fertilizers and the water, and the flushed back out with fresh growth. This is the second year for these plants. So some of them were started from seed last February, others from cuttings. They're producing well. We're in full production here of these are some German yellow tomatoes. Yellow beef is blooming and finally finished out in growth. This was from seed last February and just didn't produce in the summer, didn't have enough time to mature. I think it's going to start setting some fruit, have some really nice bloom. San Marzano is finally starting to set some plum tomatoes, Italian. German yellow again is really doing nicely. It's been my most prolific producer. And it's got a nice big tomato on the other side there you can barely see. Big pink, again, was started from seed from my brother Dwayne and just didn't get large enough to produce fruit, but this past summer it's really come on strong, and I've got 5 or 6 tomatoes set on, and these are really beautiful tomato, and it's just blowing up with blooms. So if they set fruit and we can get them to mature and keep the greenhouse warm enough, should be a nice crop there. Down to the dwarf emerald giant. Nice bloom, healthy plant. Again, this is a dwarf plant. Got a nice plant tomato set there of about the size of a tangerine perhaps. And got another one next door to it, a little bit further along, and just really healthy looking plant. Got some nice blooms on it. Not as heavy a producer as some of the others, but nevertheless going to have a good yield there. This is the NBD. Got a lot of nice tomato sets on it, some as big as a small orange, tangerine size, but still coming up nicely and continuing to set fruit and bloom. Taking a few cuttings off of this for a cloning to either freshen up these plants or replace them with a new fresh plant. But again, this one is just healthy as can be. Peppers are going nuts. I've trimmed them all back, pruned them to bring them into the greenhouse. Still producing. This is the Goliath griller, about finger size. Pretty good heat in those, but a nice grilling pepper. This is the Corno de Toro, Spanish sweet pepper they use for grilling and stuffing. These things are huge, so are turning out to be much larger than I thought they would be, but really productive plants, just healthy. This is called a long Spanish pepper. These things are mammoth. I may stuff those with some sauerkraut and can those. But I've grilled those too with just onions and garlic, and they really are nice. Nice sweet Spanish pepper. Here is the infamous ghost pepper, just turning red. I've got 5 or 6 more on that are, again, the plant's just real healthy. I'll be trimming it back before long, but just have so many peppers hanging on it. Hate to do it yet. This over here is it's called a Spanish Deux, D-O-U-X pepper. It's a nice sweet pepper, turns red, and it's been fairly productive. They get bigger than this. This is probably my largest one here. You can see it is starting to turn red. Hard to get in there to see it. But a nice pepper, nice stuffing pepper. This is another one of those plants next to it. Just got a little bit stunted, got infested with bugs and slowed it down, but seems to be coming back. I'll trim it back and try and get it into a healthier status this winter. This is a Quadrato di Rosso Italian. It's kind of an Italian bell pepper. Really nice. Cut a few up last night for a stir fry, but it's going to be a good stuffing pepper as well. Not the typical size of a bell pepper. Kind of like a California Wonder, similar to what you'd buy in the store. And again, this plant's fairly loaded and productive, and we'll be trimming it back. I'll prune it back and try and keep it producing all winter long. Let's see, it is 78 degrees in the greenhouse and 53 degrees outside, and whether you can appreciate it, it's just dripping 100% humidity in here and raining from the ceiling. Just moisture is just everywhere. So it's perfect growing in here right now, and that's the update for December 3rd. We'll give you more as we get closer to fruit ripening.